Recording, Mayor.
Good evening. Welcome to March 2nd, 2026, regularly scheduled Township Committee meeting. Recognize that we have a quorum of Township Committee attending here in person. Committeeman Rosen, Committeeman Hickey, Committeewoman Fernandez, Committeewoman Moreski has an excused absence due to a death in her family, and we extend our greatest condolences to Renee and her family. I apologize for being late. Colin got the call, as he usually does, from me saying, hey, you know, Gina said she's going to be late, but I think I'm going to take care of that for her. So apologies for Ms. Ray, may we please have the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Yes, Mayor. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee was sent to the Courier News Somerville, Bernardsville News Whippany, and to all subscribers, and posted on the Township of Bedminster's official website, www.bedminsternj.gov, and at the Township Municipal Building on January 6, 2026.
Great, thank you. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now it's time of the meeting that we open up the microphone, the Zoom session for public comment. Any member of the public wishing to make a statement, ask a question, now's your opportunity to do so. As we've been saying for, I think, maybe over a year now, welcome to make your comments, ask your questions. You're not guaranteed of a dialogue unless one of the Township Committee members decides to engage. You're not guaranteed of an answer. You're certainly not guaranteed of getting an answer you're going to like.
None online, Mayor.
Seeing none, we will continue with the rest of the meeting. Two sets of meeting minutes to approve: February 17 Township Committee meeting and the February 17th executive session meeting minutes.
So moved.
No comments? So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Permits and raffles, we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First is an annual seasonal farmers market permit for Sky Acres Winery at the Bedminster Farmers Market, May 23 through December 5. Next, an annual seasonal farmers market permit for Res Natura. I don't know who they are. At the Bedminster Farmers Market, May 23 through December 5, a social affair permit to benefit the Willow School on May 18, 2026, from 8 a.m. to 2:30 at Hamilton Farm Golf Club. A social affair permit to benefit the Willow School on May 16, 2026, from 5 p.m. to 12 a.m., located at the Willow School. And a social fair permit to benefit Children's Specialized Hospital Foundation on July 13, 2026, from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Hamilton Farm Golf Club. Other than not knowing who Res Natura is, yes, you do. You know?
It's spirits and wines, I believe. Maybe they're doing.
They would need the seasonal market permit, so yeah, maybe they're doing it in advance. I just not sure that they've been approved yet. Do I know who they are?
We can hold on that.
No, it's fine because they can get the permit.
Right.
If they're not approved to attend the market, then.
True.
Yeah.
Means nature of things in Latin.
Res ipsa loquitur, Attorney Guaro.
I can't say that I knew that, but I just Googled it.
Draw.
There's no further questions or comments regarding the 5 permits. No permits. Take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
I have Committeewoman Fernandez as a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Monthly report discussion by subcommittee chair, Committeeman Rosen. We'll start with you.
On the recreation front, spring program registration is now open. Some of the offerings are indoor adult volleyball, after-school dance, kids cooking, and some soccer and flag football offerings also. And 60 Seconds of Mayhem, also known as the annual egg hunt, will be on April 4th. Regarding the community garden, the snow has obviously held up construction. Now that it's melted, hopefully things will get moving and forward. But registration will open online on a first-come, first-served basis next Monday, March 9th. And Committeewoman Fernandez and I attended Somerset County OEM training about 2 weeks ago.
Is it still going on?
It might be. We it just might be.
So, and you do have a garden meeting
Tomorrow night.
tomorrow night.
Yes. No further comment.
Jason, how are those Vigo gardens coming along? So we might have 2 or 3 of them ready for,
There's probably 25
all right,
together.
all right.
Pretty good.
No more snow?
No more what?
No more snow, snow.
Tomorrow morning, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get it tomorrow morning. a little bit.
Spring is coming.
It
Spring
is.
is coming.
It
Next
is.
week's gonna be easy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Um,
Committeewoman Fernandez.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few updates. So last week I attended the Sewer Transmission Advisory Board meeting where we established the annual budget. And the 2026 Miller Lane Pump Station proposed start date is spring 2026. There'll be a groundbreaking kind of event, so that's very exciting. We discussed also this ball that is called the Smart Ball, and it will help prevent some of the it will locate like small leaks and gas pockets in the pipe material and really lower the chance of pipes bursting, et cetera, mains bursting. So that's exciting. Also, like in Committeeman Rosen mentioned, we attended the Office of Emergency Management training session. It was very informative. Very thankful that we have an OEM person in charge here, and just in case, we have had a lot of emergencies in Somerset County and in Bedminster, floods and earthquakes and all kinds of things. So that's a really great thing to have in place. Also attended a crime statistics meeting with the chief of police and you, Mayor. I don't know if you'll report on that, but I'm happy to see the crime over the last 5 years is consistently down in Bedminster. So DPW, of course, has been working on snow removals, ice maintenance, snow removal, and potholes. So, just after a long I don't really remember a winter in the last few years that's been this bad. So it's been a long winter. It's not over yet. But thank you to Jason and his crew for always doing an amazing job. And obviously working on heavy equipment and garden boxes and all those things. So, and that's all my updates for right now.
Yeah, that last snowstorm canceled their budget meeting. I don't know if that worked out well or if that worked out poorly, but Jason, once again, just as Gina said, you guys are out there. And thank you so much for taking care of our roads. Once again, traveling around the county and going to Morris County and Middlesex. Roads are better than, I would say, nearly all the other towns that I've driven through in short practice. So with just, before the snow had really even stopped, Bedminster roads were looking pretty good. So thank you. Committeeman Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, all. Continuing the theme, Board of Ed meeting, whose name comes up with Jason's. Many thanks from the Board of Education for keeping those roads and parking lot clear of ice and snow. So they always recognize him, and we appreciate that. There was a lot of discussion at the last meeting on the school budget, which will be formally introduced next Thursday, March 12th, with a public hearing to follow on April 30th. They are seeing increased expenses for healthcare insurance, transportation, salaries. So we'll learn next week the projected taxpayer impact. Just a reminder, school taxes were 51% of Bedminster's total property tax bill last year. And no, we do not control that. So I would encourage residents interested in this to attend one of the upcoming Board of Ed meetings. Mayor, I know you'll cover library, and that's all I have right now.
Okay, thank you. So start with library. We had a library board meeting earlier in February. Welcomed Mary Shaw as the new Bedminster representative. She hit the ground running, talking about further efforts and coordination with the children's library. There was some comments that were well received by the board. And Committeeman Hickey wants to thank you for digging in deep, along with Mayor Welsh, into the HVAC system at the library. If you don't mind taking a few seconds to just talk about your meeting with Kevin.
Sure.
Touring the facilities, especially on the HVAC, which has been a long-term expense for the library.
Yep.
But there may be a reason for it.
Yes, I mean, we're, the age of the system is such that we're getting near end of life. We're starting to see increased expenses for maintenance, for fuel. So we decided to be proactive, because the last thing we want to do with the HVAC system is try to replace it in the middle of winter in an emergency situation. So we met with the folks who installed it and serviced it, and want to start to look at a roadmap for what needs to be replaced when and what priority, so that we can manage the budget against that and figure out what needs to go first. So that process is kicked off. We'll make a larger recommendation back to the board probably within the next few months in terms of where we see the timelines and the numbers. But it's the right process to start now to make sure that we don't get caught in a pickle and suddenly have to replace stuff very quickly, which is always very expensive. So that's where we're at.
And I know I've said this before, but once again, kudos to Judy Griffiths. Judy is another Bedminster Citizens Representation or representative on the Clarence Dillon Public Library Board. And she is also the chair of the board, or president of the board. And I've been associated with the library for many years, since I joined the Township Committee with Mayor Parker. She is doing a bang-up job as president of the board. She's taken time to go through not just the budget, but look at the programming and sort of compelling a discussion on the library programs that we work so hard on, and further coordination between those programs, what the Friends of the Library are sponsoring, and how these can all work together, and also coordinating with Bedminster Recreation, so that, whether it's kids programming at the library or adult programming at the library, that we have coordination and we can all get this out. And this is all in an effort to enhance and further community engagement. So Judy, if you're out there listening, great job. Land Use Board, since we met, did we cover the last Land Use Board?
We covered Tesla, but then you had.
Oh, the airport. Well, yes. So since we last met, the Land Use Board heard an application for the construction of additional hangars at Somerset Airport. That matter did not complete and will continue on March 12. The Land Use Board did have a special meeting last week. And during that meeting, we addressed some of the affordable housing obligations that we'll be dealing with later today. So first was amending or approving the First Amendment to the Housing Element Fair Share Plan, which was approved. And then secondly, reviewing the ordinance that is scheduled for later this evening, amending our land management ordinance to reflect the most recent affordable housing requirements from HMFA and DCA. And that ordinance was found to be not inconsistent. It's crazy. With the master plan. So that was approved, and we'll hear that ordinance later today, 5 minutes from now. And then there's a land use board meeting coming up this week where we will hear an application for certain changes in lighting and within the parking lot at the AT&T property on Route 206. Farmers Market, we have a farmers market meeting next week on the 10th, where we will be once again going through some vendors who've applied to participate in this year's market, maybe looking at some additional coordination between the farmers market, the library, the Jacobus Vanderveer House, especially with regards to the America 250 celebrations. Robin, we still need to get that ag meeting scheduled.
When do you want to do that?
I want you to touch base with Jim and everyone else, and let's get some dates probably for mid to late March. And I think that's what I have for my subcommittees. So Robin, take some time for the administrator's report.
Yes, Mayor. So on Tuesday, I'm sorry, I think I have the wrong thing here. We had a meeting with Mark Pfeiffer, who is a resident here of Bedminster Township Committeeman Hickey, and CFO Derek Machi met with Mark Pfeiffer. He was former Deputy Director of the Division of Local Government Services and a good friend to Bedminster. We touched upon a whole bunch of topics affecting municipalities and some questions that we had for him about some directions that we're moving in. So it was a very productive meeting, and that was well received by everybody. We had a sewer transmission advisory board, as Gina mentioned, hosted the committee here in Bedminster Township, unanimously approved the staff budget meeting. And the only major increase was a $20,000 increase to the budget above and beyond the regular inflation area items. But this was to plan for in the event of an emergency. Since we did have 2 failures at Forest Main last year, we thought let's go into this with eyes wide open. Somerset Hills Public Safety Committee was February 19th, which Mayor Jacobs will report on later in the meeting. February 24th, we had a bid opening for the new Crossroads Park. It's actually a new park that we're planning for the center of Pluckerman. And the township, just a little bit of background history, the township actually purchased 2 lots in the center of Pluckerman that were vacant. They were decrepit properties for a long, long time, demolished, and the township purchased those in hopes of revitalizing downtown Pluckerman. It's 255 and 261, Route 202, 206. So we've worked on a design to install, which will feature a large pagoda and a seating area for people to gather and public parking. And the park will commemorate the Pluckerman Cantonment, which was actually located in the Hills Development in 1778 and 1779. And it was a training academy for the officers of General Washington's Continental Army, and with a precursor to West Point, which a lot of people refer to it as. It has great historical significance, so we thought it was a great tribute. We did receive 3 bids, and there's actually a resolution on the agenda later for your consideration regarding the bid. Shared Municipal Court also met last week. We had a unanimously approved the budget The budget actually decreased by $10,000 this year, or 1%. And that was due to the fact that we had a couple employees elect healthcare elsewhere as opposed to taking healthcare with us. So significant savings overall. And I worked on the affordable housing spending plan with Attorney Bellardo. So that'll be on later on this evening for consideration. We set up meetings with Live Golf right through the August start date so that everybody stays on task. We had our first meeting with the team on February 18th, so far we're off to a great start, and continue to work on the municipal budget. As you mentioned, our meeting was canceled, but we're gonna just stay on our regular course of schedule. I think we'll be in really great shape. We have the meeting for March 9th, next Monday. We'll focus on assessments. Ed Kerwin's going to come right at the top of the meeting. He's limited to a certain amount of time. And we have operating
How much
budget. He has 20 minutes.
10?
Giving him 20 minutes. Well, I figured he might go to a half hour if I give him 20. Operating budget is complete, and we'll be discussing the township fleet and wrapping up with continued discussions on capital expenditures. So I think that'll be a pretty packed meeting, but I think we're in good shape. So
I think it was a pretty packed administrative report. Thank
we
you.
had a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Been a busy
Yeah.
2 weeks, Mayor.
Yes. Chief Bernardo, can we have an update on community policing efforts?
Yeah, sure. Mine's a lot quicker than Robin's. I just have one thing. March 18th, we're hosting a pizza with the police event at the
We
library.
can barely
Yeah,
hear you.
Can't really hear you very well.
March 18th, we're hosting a pizza with the police event at the library from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. for anybody that's interested to come and hang out and have a meal with us. That's all I got.
March 18th, pizza with a cop.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief.
It's hard to hear.
Okay. Introduction of ordinances. We have one ordinance to introduce tonight, which is our film ready ordinance. It's ordinance 2026-003, which amends Chapter 4 entitled General Licensing, Section 4-3 entitled Filming. Robin, why don't you, I know we've talked about film readiness ordinance over several years,
Right.
but why don't you just give us an update on how we got here
Sure.
with this particular version of the ordinance?
Sure. So we actually adopted the ordinance back in 2023. We satisfied all of the requirements to be film ready. The Film Commission, the New Jersey Film Commission recognized that New Jersey was losing business in several of the municipalities. So they decided that they wanted to create a more unified approach. So they started going through everybody's ordinances to make sure they were all the same. There were towns in North Jersey that were price gouging changing some of the prices. They were price gouging the production companies from the small companies to the major motion pictures, which caused an uprise. And that's why they started with going towns of A, we're B in the alphabet. So here we are. And I did provide you with just a quick summary of the changes in the filming ordinance that's attached to your ordinance package there. Perhaps there's not too many major changes, with the exception that we had 14 days noticed, that we needed 14 days notice in order to turn around a permit application and all the approvals. They're making it 4 business days across the state of New Jersey, which is tough for a small municipality with part-time inspectors. We're going to do our very best. But typically the major motion pictures, they'll come at us a lot sooner than, say, a small student film that this really helps out. The other major was the insurance, and our JIF actually pushed back on it. They did not want to change the insurance requirements that the JIF had originally given us. It's the same as a couple of the other municipalities around here. So their attorneys reviewed the insurance requirements and decided to go with Bedminster's insurance. So they're going to adopt that at their April meeting. So it'll become a statewide standard for the requirements. So that's a big deal.
So is that why, because I know at one point we talked about getting this ordinance introduced earlier, the insurance was the reason that we
Yeah,
had.
there was a lot of lag time back and forth between communications with the film commission. There are a lot of times they're on the road and making presentations, so I think there's just too much lag time in between communications, Mayor. And certainly the insurance was a hang-up.
And, it is interesting talking to representatives from other municipalities. They were talking about the amount of funds that the municipalities were collecting from issuing the film licenses. And they asked me what we were charging. I said, well, we're charging like a couple $100 a day.
Well, we were charging $100 a day. You can go up to 150, so we changed it to 150.
Yeah, some of those municipalities that were not participating, they were charging in thousands.
And they're not supposed to.
And
So
they're not
the
supposed
whole
to.
state can charge a max of 150 per day.
And so by being film ready, Bedminster will be identified along with the other film ready municipalities identified by the Film Commission, so that when the location scouts are looking for facilities, that they know that they can come here or any other film ready, and that they'll have a standard licensing fee schedule, insurance schedule, and they won't be gouged
Correct.
by some of the other municipalities
And there's
who are not participating in the film ready.
There's a directory of sites and locations that we worked at the county to
Yep.
come up with a big list of locations throughout the township we thought would be attractive for filming companies, and a list of local merchants that they could use as well. So
Can an application be turned down for filming, or if we're film ready, that it's a guarantee they can come in and film?
they're guaranteed that they can come in and film. We can certainly restrict and direct some of the
Like
actions, the
location?
activities. For example, the police chief will be able to employ certain security measures if he deems it's not safe for the public.
Mhm.
So certain things like that.
And if they require special security provisions, whether it's police, fire, or first aid, they would then cover those expenses separate and apart from the fee schedule.
That's correct.
So if this ordinance is introduced, the public hearing will be scheduled for March 16 in these chambers. Any further questions or comments regarding the introduction of the ordinance? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to introduce ordinance 2026-003.
So moved?
Second?
Roll call vote, please. Committeeman Hickey.
Aye.
Committeewoman Fernandez.
Aye.
Committeeman Rosen.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
The public hearing for ordinance 2026-003 will be scheduled for March 16. Now, we do have a public hearing of one ordinance. This is ordinance number 2026-004, an ordinance amending Chapter 13 entitled Land Management of the Township of Bedminster, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey, amending, revising, and supplementing the code of the Township of Bedminster, Chapter 13, Land Development, to add Section 13-907, incorporation of the New Jersey Administrative Code Sections 5:99-1.1 to 5:99-9.4, and New Jersey Administrative Code Sections 5:80-26.1 to 26.23. Take a motion to open the public hearing of that ordinance, which I'm just going to refer to as 2026-004. So I have to read that title again.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
John Ballard.
Ms. Ray, do we have a report from our land use board concerning whether this ordinance is not inconsistent with our master plan?
Yes, I do.
And that, just note for the record, that was via, you read the memo date and other particulars.
Yes, that was February 27th, memorandum to Robin Ray from Janine DeLeon, Bedminster Township Land Use Board Secretary, regarding the introduction of ordinance 2026-04. At the February 26, 2026 special Land Use Board meeting, the Bedminster Land Use Board determined the following ordinance number 2026-004. An ordinance amending Chapter 13 entitled Land Management and adding sections 5:99-1.1 to 5:99-9.4 and New Jersey Administrative Code sections 5:80-26.1 to 5:80-26.23 is not inconsistent with the Bedminster Township Master Plan, and it's signed by Carol Gutschall, the Bedminster Township Land Use Chair, and acknowledged by the Bedminster Township Land Use Secretary Janine DeLeon.
Thank you very much for that. Mayor, we had a case management conference with the Honorable William Menon this afternoon at 3:30 p.m. and I say we. I attended that virtually on behalf of Bedminster Township, Joshua Bowers, the attorney for Fair Share Housing Corp. The purpose of the case management conference was to determine where the township was with respect to the conditional consent order entered on December 17th. 2025 by His Honor. I indicated to His Honor that at a reorganization meeting, we had designated Ms. Ray as the municipal housing liaison, that this particular body had previously adopted a resolution in which it adopted a revised affirmative marketing plan, including the affirmative marketing plan that both had been filed with E-Courts, that our planning board had adopted the first amendment to the housing element fair share plan last Thursday evening, and both that resolution and the plan were filed by E-Courts with Judge Menon last Friday. The judge acknowledged that he had those in front of him and they had been duly filed. I also indicated to His Honor that pursuant to paragraph 5 of his order dated December 17th, we were in the process of tonight of finalizing the directives, including adoption of this particular ordinance after a public hearing. The reason for adopting this particular ordinance is to comply with those newly issued New Jersey Administrative Code regulations that just came out in December. So this is one of the three issues we'll address tonight. If it's adopted, it will be filed by my office tomorrow morning. In furtherance of Judge Menon's directive and the consent order we entered with Fair Share Housing Court.
So the consent order, so specific with this ordinance, the consent order, this represents one of the terms that Fair Share Housing had wanted, that Bedminster, as well as every other municipality, incorporate and acknowledge compliance with DCA and HMFA's rules that came out in December. So those are DCA and HMFA's rules regarding the affordable management and addressing how affordable housing is managed within the municipalities and the requirements of managing the affordable housing program. We're already subject to it.
You have to follow.
We're already subject to it. These are state regulations, but Fair Share Housing wanted them specifically referenced in our ordinance. So that's what we're doing with this ordinance. Right, John? We're not doing anything that we're not otherwise already obligated to do.
We are leaving in place our existing affordable housing ordinances because many of those provisions did not need to be amended or otherwise modified. And essentially we're saying to the extent that our existing affordable housing ordinance is in any way inconsistent with the new regulations will govern and supersede our ordinance. Rather than adopting, as many municipalities did, a 40 to 46 page ordinance that essentially is just a regurgitation of those regulations. We're essentially adopting the Cliff Notes version. And that way, if these regulations are amended in the future by the state, as they are often want to do, we don't have to go back and amend our particular ordinance because we have already said we're going to follow them as amended from time to time.
That is, as someone who drafts a lot of agreements, that's a much more elegant way of addressing it, because if you take the rules that just came out in December and specifically incorporate as John said, those 43 pages and put them into your ordinance, well, then in 5 months from now, when DCA or HMFA amends those regulations, your ordinance is already out of date.
Correct.
So by making reference to the regulatory sections, you cover any amendments that may happen. Any further questions or comments regarding the ordinance? We'll open up the public hearing for public comments. So any member wishing to ask a question, make a statement about ordinance number 2026-004, now's your opportunity to do so. No one's on Zoom. I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And I'll take a motion to approve ordinance number 2026-004.
So moved.
Second. Roll call vote, please. Committeeman Hickey.
Aye.
Committeewoman Fernandez.
Aye.
Committeeman Rosen.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, 1 of 3 down for affordable housing tonight. That's the big one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 items on the consent agenda. These are items of a routine nature. However, any member of the Township Committee may pull one, some, or all of them off for individual consideration. And just run through them real quick. One is rec fees. Another is a change order for a paving contract. Submission of a grant application and appointing a part-time taco. No one wants to pull them off. TACO stands for Technical Assistant Construction.
Official.
Official.
Not the federal acronym that's been in the media so often.
Take a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Committeeman Hickey.
Aye.
Committeewoman Fernandez.
Aye.
Committeeman Rosen.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Resolutions for individual consideration. First is resolution number 2026-054. This resolution authorizes Township Attorney John Bilardo to file the 2026 Housing Element Fair Share Plan adopted by the Bedminster Township Land Use Board. John?
Yes, let me just get this out. Ordinance.
So once again, this is the Housing Element Fair Share Plan that the Land Use Board approved last week.
Yes, again, going back, one of the things pursuant to the law that Governor Murphy signed in March of 2024 required, in most instances, the towns to adopt a housing element and fair share plan, a new housing element and fair share plan. And Bedminster's Land Use Board did that in June of last year. It was endorsed by the Township Committee. That was filed by June 30th of last year as required by the program. Objectors and others had until the end of August to file any objections to our housing element and fair share plan. Fair Share Housing did file an objection. It wasn't so much an objection. It was really a request for more information, but they were advised by the program and the courts that they had to file an objection to do that. And when they looked at our housing element fair share plan, there were 2 particular items that they either contested or sought more information. One of the items was there was a couple blanks that had been left in the plan concerning our meeting the very low income obligations. And at the time, the board did not have that information. The board subsequently did have that information, and so that was filled in this first amendment. So we addressed point 1. Point 2, in our amended housing element fair share plan, we had taken credits, or not so much taking credits, but indicated that we had extended some 250 affordable housing units, and we did that when purchasers would come in the Bedminster Hills Housing Corporation at the time, our administrative agent, together with their attorney, would extend at no cost to the township for an additional 30 or 40 years some of these particular housing units. Fair Share contested that. They said that they wanted additional information, including certificates of occupancy going back many years, that there had been code inspections, that any particular code issues had been brought up to speed. And rather than go through all of that so-called rigmarole, we indicated to Fair Share that we weren't actually taking these 250 units as credits, nor had we taken them as credits in the third round when they were in the plan from 2015 to 2025. So essentially, both sides agreed as follows. The township would reserve the right to seek those additional 250 credits during the next round, the fifth round, from 2035 to 2045. And Fair Share agreed that they had the right to continue to seek additional information or to determine if those credits were proper. So the amended housing element in Fair Share plan reflects that particular language and clarifies that obligation, so we can get that out of the way. And again, filing this particular amended housing element Fair Share plan is required pursuant to Judge Menon's order in paragraph 5. So this was passed by the Land Use Board last Thursday. However, the governing body is required to endorse by resolution the action of the Land Use Board, and this resolution would do that. Again, this resolution would be filed by my office tomorrow with Judge Menon.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the Township Committee? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to approve Resolution 2026-054.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Committeeman Hickey.
Aye.
Committeewoman Fernandez.
Aye.
Committeeman Rosen.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
2 out of 3. Now we go for third. Resolution 2026-055. This resolution adopts an affordable housing spending plan consistent with the fourth round housing element and Fair Share plan. John.
All municipalities that were participating in the program, including Bedminster, were required to update their affordable housing spending plan. And essentially, that is a roadmap as to what we can and cannot do with our affordable housing funds. The regulations modified in many respects and clarified in many respects what could be done with the particular funds. And as you may know, following the meeting last week, I provided essentially a roadmap. I took old regulations and I yellow highlighted what the new regulations provide. And they're much more expansive and more detailed, and in my opinion, give the township and other governing bodies much more leeway in how they can spend affordable housing fund, including, I think, under subsections 15 and 16, the ability to go to the division and seek approval for something that's not expressly in the regulations. So if there was a unique opportunity that was presented to the Township Committee to spend affordable housing funds, and it wasn't specifically listed in one of the categories, we could go to the division and essentially say, this is what we want to spend the money for, we want your approval. And if the division were to come back and approve that, you're essentially safeguarded and can spend those funds. So I want to thank Ms. Ray for spending countless hours agonizing hours in crunching numbers and coming up with all the facts and figures that you see in this particular spending plan. It was the yeoman's job putting this thing together. So again, if this particular resolution is adopted tonight, it will be filed with Judge Menon. And just to sum up, what happens if we file all resolutions by the required date of March 15th? As Judge Menon indicated today, there's a final step in the process, and that's I would work with the attorney for Fair Share Housing Corp. To come up with a final consent order that would essentially indicate that there was nothing further that the township needed to do, and that for the period of July of 2025 to July of 2035, the township now had a 10-year period of immunity for builders remedy lawsuits. So essentially, we are at the 5-yard line, about to get into the end zone, and hopefully by April 15th and before that, we will have done that and concluded this chapter that began some over 2 years ago.
So John, with the approval of this resolution and then the filing tomorrow, you've already certainly had the discussions with the attorney for fair share housing in front of Judge Menon. So there's no expected hiccups between now and April 15th.
I do not expect any. We had submitted all of these as required by the order drafts of these to Fair Share Housing Center, indicating that it was our intent to adopt all of these either by resolution or ordinance. And I expressly indicated to Mr. Bowers that if he had any objections, comments, or input whatsoever concerning any of them, to get them to me ahead of time. I had not received any from Mr. Bowers. He did not indicate at the conference today that he had any particular objections. So,
okay. Any further questions or comments either of John regarding the process or specifically with respect to the changes to the affordable housing spending plan and how it's implemented? So none, take a motion to approve resolution 2026-055.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Committeeman Hickey.
Aye.
Committeewoman Fernandez.
Aye.
Committeeman Rosen.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
So John, you've got the ordinance and the 2 resolutions that you need for submission to Judge Menon.
Mayor,
Have at it.
stick around, make sure we get these signed, and I will take them with me as I leave the building tonight.
Great. Thank you, John. And thank you, Robin.
Thanks,
for all
everyone.
the 2 of you working on this and coordinating with Frank Banish. Thank you all once again. I know how much work went into this, a lot of back and forth, a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. But I'm glad we got to this point. And John, thank you for leading this charge and for coordinating with Josh Bowers at Fair
The
Share.
president should also give thanks to this particular township committee, because when you look at some of the building that's going to occur in some of the other municipalities, really the impact of the DCA numbers here, 72, has really been mitigated by your careful planning and your predecessor's careful planning. Except with respect to the KRE project that has submitted an amended application and was utilized for the 3rd round, the surplus of credits that exists really will mean that you're not going to see any significant building sprouting throughout the confines of the township. Pluckman Park, we were able to utilize once again those particular 50 credits that had been extended in perpetuity. That was 50 less units that had to be built, and with a multiplier, it certainly could have been much more. So again, hats off to the president and past governing bodies for that careful and insightful planning.
Good. Thank you. Resolution 2026-056. This resolution authorizes a place-to-place transfer of club license number 1801-31-004-002 for the purpose of relocation of premises and a change in the trustees of Fiddler's Elbow Golf and Country Club. Ms. Ray.
That's just it. They are just delicensing a portion of one of the restaurants that extends outside. Anyway, just going for other space, but they're delicensing a portion of it that they no longer need. And they are actually changing some of their trustees, just moving them around.
Okay.
Into different positions. And it requires us as a municipality to get approval.
Okay. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, take motion to approve resolution 2026-056.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Committeeman Hickey.
Aye.
Committeewoman Fernandez.
Aye.
Committeeman Rosen.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
So we talked before, Robin did about Crossroads Park and the bid opening. This resolution, 2026-057, authorizes rejection of all the bids for the Crossroads Park project. Ms. Ray or Jason, if you want to walk us through
I can
this
certainly-
resolution.
I can certainly take care of that. So Mayor, we did receive 3 bids. The apparent low bidder unfortunately did not submit prices on all the items, so the bid was disqualified. And the other 2 remaining bids were substantially above our budget. for the
Yeah, I did have conversations with Paul Ferrero. He actually gave me a call as soon as it had occurred, and he walked through the problems with the low bid certainly, and that the other bids were way in excess of what the engineered expenses were. So Paul and I discussed the process for bidding, and once we get through this resolution authorizing the rejection of those bids, we send it back out for
We're going to advertise tomorrow.
Yeah. Further questions or comments from Township Committee? So none, take a motion to approve Resolution 2026-057.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote again, please. Committeeman Hickey.
Aye.
Committeewoman Fernandez.
Aye.
Committeeman Rosen.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye. And I'll take a motion to approve the bill list pending review of individual invoices.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, sorry.
I have Committeeman Hickey as a second. Correct. Roll call vote, please. Committeeman Hickey.
Aye.
Committeewoman Fernandez.
Aye.
Committeeman Rosen.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
New business. Are there any matters that the Township Committee wants to put up for discussion under new business? Old business. Utilities.
Mayor, I do not have any updates on utilities. Believe it or not.
Okay.
It's good news.
Good thing.
No, this is good news, yeah. With all the storms.
Right.
I was going to mention the storms, but Gina got there.
Yep. No news is good news.
Somerset Hills Public Safety Committee. Robin, do you have, do you just want to do a quick review? Because I think my voice is going to crack in about 3 seconds.
Okay. Well, now I got to go back and think about what we actually spoke about. So we had a good attendance at this meeting. There seemed to be some renewed excitement. There was a lot of discussion regarding community policing efforts, as well as some economic development efforts. And I think that pretty much covered it.
I
Am I
think that-
missing something?
No, I think that was it. Oh, we did snow removal ordinance.
Oh, snow removal.
Yeah,
We
that was
talked
something
about-
that
Yeah,
uh,
we discussed.
someone said,
ordinance.
Judge, Mayor McCarthy from Burners wanted to talk about snow removal ordinance. And the most interesting thing is we had, what, 6 towns on there? We had the 5 Somerset Hills towns and Bridgewater. There were 6 different positions on snow removal ordinances and enforcement. Whether you don't have an ordinance, whether you have an ordinance but you don't enforce it, or whether you have an ordinance and you do enforce it, or whether the municipality plows
The sidewalks.
how many miles was it?
They have all that paved trail.
Farmers Township
Yeah,
has 19 miles or so.
Probably more.
They were a lot, they were also.
Yeah, it depends on school safety zones, so, if you have to walk to school, what is it, 2 miles? I forget what somebody on the Board of Ed would know, but, essentially, if you're beyond a certain mileage, you have to pay for busing. So typically what they will do is they have designated school safety routes within those miles, and the town will take care of all of those sidewalks, so anyone within those miles, like a kid, can get to school with clear sidewalks. But they don't have a general snow removal ordinance for residents.
Which we do. And generally in the areas surrounding the school, we have very good compliance with the snow removal ordinance.
Yeah, Chief Bernard said that they will go around and remind everybody, but most people take care of it themselves.
And it was just interesting to really, it was 6 different, maybe at least 2 of the towns might share a position or policy. No, there wasn't. That's crazy. So the next Public Safety Committee meeting will be later in March. So once again, thank you, Robin, for organizing that, for doing the presentation tonight. We do not have an executive session. So we will run through Township Committee comments and then we will adjourn for the evening. Committeeman Rosen.
I hope Jason and his crew have an easy morning tomorrow. Hopefully the last one for the season. And again, kudos for a great job with very trying circumstances all winter.
Really getting snow.
It does.
Oh, Committeewoman Fernandez.
Thank you, Mayor. I did want to just include some correspondence from Ashley Fernandez. She's a part-time Bedminster resident, also living in Hoboken. And I just wanted to, and I quote, say, Bedminster snow removal is top notch, just saying. Hoboken snow removal, on the other hand, stinks. And that is a direct quote.
Thank you,
And
Ashley Fernandez.
also, I wanted to say, don't forget to turn your clocks back forward this weekend. Yay.
Is it this week?
Wow.
Yeah,
Thank you.
18 days till spring, 18 days. So there you
Spring
go.
ahead
Yay.
already.
it's
Yay,
another-
it's coming.
And that's all, Mayor. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Committeeman Hickey.
Jason, do you have a fan club? Because everybody talks about you all the time.
Yeah, especially on Facebook.
The Bedminster buddies.
Thank you as always for being so responsive.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Gonna have to deal with the garden committee soon.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not on that. Thank you as always, Jason.
That is me.
Oh, they're gonna tag you then. Good luck. That's all I have there. Thank you.
So I just want to hit on 3 programs that I participated in. I think it was since our last meeting. So let me go backwards. Today was Read Across America. So once again, I had the opportunity to read to a class at the Bedminster Township School. And this year I got kindergartners.
Oh, so cute. So cute.
Just what a great experience. You know, love going back to the Bedminster School, seeing Principal Swan and Superintendent Giordano, and having the kindergartners walk me back through the school, through the maze, and through the stairs, and going back down and around. It's just great to see. And as I was leaving, as I was getting there, Officer Taylor Del Cole was leaving after reading his book. So great to see the Bedminster PD out there and great communication with the students there. So that was a great opportunity. Loved doing it. Last week, I was asked to participate in a panel along with other elected officials at the 100 in Somerset Central Jersey Realtors Association. And this was concerning the salt deduction that was put into the One Big Beautiful Bill. We were having discussions about the impact on getting state and local taxes, getting that from the $10,000 limit up to the $40,000 limit. So that quadrupling was done. Really, I'll tell you, having texting Congressman Kane during that entire time when we were talking about primarily about the presidential security reimbursement provision, making sure that we got money back for providing security resources to candidate Trump and then President Trump, so that we got legislative authority to get the reimbursement and getting the allocation of funds to DHS to reimburse us, just waiting on FEMA to actually put the plan together.
Right.
But at the same time, I was also texting Congressman Kane about the SALT deduction, how important that was for our residents. And certainly that was a heck of an effort because there was a lot of folks in Congress, including on the Republican Party, that did not want the SALT deduction elevated. So kudos to Congressman King for getting that done. The impact of the SALT deduction, when you look at how important local taxes and getting that credit for our residents is crucial. When you start looking at some of the property taxes that are being really imposed on our residents, and we're part of that, and the school, and the county, and the state. You see some of the numbers, and the Realtors Association actually had the tax numbers for really most of northern Somerset presented. I think I handed it to Colin after the meeting, and the difference between us and the next closest town, about $5,000 to $6,000. So as we continue to see a decrease in the ratables coming from our commercial assets, more emphasis on getting revenue from our residents, right? Costs the same amount of money, and every year it's more and more to run a town. Certainly all have seen what the health insurance expenses are. And so we know right off the bat, you're getting hit with another 70, 80, 90, 100,000, 130,000 increase in what we pay for health insurance that gets spread across. Without vibrant commercial base, then where's money coming from? It's coming from the residents. And having the SALT deduction go from 10 to 40,000 is a way of sustaining folks to stay in New Jersey. And it was just interesting discussion that we had with other governing officials, and certainly hearing it from the realtors, and how critical that is for folks both selling and buying.
Mm-hmm.
And so just also talked about the outward migration from New Jersey and how the tax situation changes you go across the Delaware River. So something to think about. Then the other event that I participated in was Leadership Somerset down in Somerville. And it's really an opportunity to, if is anyone familiar with Leadership Somerset? So it's something that I'm trying to remember if the county or the Somerset Business Partnership runs, but it's essentially, it's a you think it's a business partnership?
No, I thought it was the county. My wife did the program a couple of years ago.
So it's a program, and they bring in executives, business leaders in the county, and it's a class. It's weeks, right?
Well, yeah, it's probably 10 to
I was going to say 10 to
12
weeks
sessions. Yeah.
Of sessions about learning and networking with other business people in Somerset, and this opportunity was to meet and hear from different elected officials. So it's interesting. We had the recent, we had two of the Township Council, including the council president from Bridgewater, who had just won, talked about how Bridgewater hadn't been Democrat majority in a very long time, but now it was. And similarly with Berners Township, and Mayor McCarthy and I were sitting next to each other, and we were really talking about how the different forms of government, borough, township committee, township council, how these different forms work, how they work on paper, how they work on practice. And it was just interesting, and there were some great questions posed from the audience and the folks who are participating in Leadership Somerset. So great to hear everyone, and certainly wish all the newly elected officials best of luck. With that, at 8:08, take a motion to adjourn for the evening.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you and good night. Hey, what do I got to sign? Your stuff first.